Oh, hey, hey, hey! How you doing, Roy?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh,
Nice day out here. I'm enjoying. This is week 2 of my summer break,
nice.
so I am just waking up, working out. That's about it.
That sounds perfect. Welcome to
Yeah.
the pod, everybody. Yeah, it was. I played hooky today. My buddy texted me yesterday. It's like, hey, uh, got time to go up to East Bay up in Traverse City and do some smallmouth fishing?
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, for sure. So got up at 3 in the morning. Says at his house at 4. Not sure exactly when we were on the water, but started out really slow. And like sometimes you take that 4 hour, whatever, 3 hour drive to your fishing trip, and then like, and it's like really windy or it's raining or like just something happens, and like it kind of had that feel initially because like, oh, it's not a, but it was like still like and then like and we got on them, man. We found these beds. It's all sight fishing. It's big, small, 4 pound, 3 to 4 pound smallmouth, like 10 feet deep in the water, and you just kind of like make them aggravated with your bait, boom, and like just crushing them all day, man. And probably, really we started weighing them. We started weighing them. They were all like, between 3.5 and 4.5 pounds, really. And like, I mean, honestly, like I probably caught like 3 of my top 10 smallmouth today or something. But they were coming so fast and furious that it didn't even feel like, well, maybe we should try a different.
Right.
It's like we're like, maybe we should try a different spot. like there's like I don't know, fishing's weird that way. It's like, man, we're we're having too much fun here. Like let's see if we can't ruin that. Like,
You're so locked in.
yeah, man,
But
so fun though.
keep 'em coming. Keep 'em coming.
But that was awesome. But raining now, so I beat the thunderstorms, everything. So all good. Took a little nap, so slightly refreshed as we get going. But yeah, obviously huge, 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 huge week in wrestling, right? I mean, Final X alone, but not only Final X, but you got rule changes, you got Real American Freestyle tickets going on sale. You got just lots and lots and lots to talk about.
Hmm.
So if you don't have anything else on the update side of things, let's get rolling. Again, welcome everybody. This is officially podcast 0.8. So I had someone reach out on Twitter and say, "Hey man, can I get to it on Apple, Spotify?" I'm like, "Oh, soon, soon." So
Yeah, yeah.
definitely in the works. Definitely part of the plan. Just kind of working out format and bits and figuring out what's the best product that we can bring to our ever growing audience. So that's but very cool. I was excited to like just get someone to ask.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice. Not like, hey, you're doing that dumb podcast again, or something like that. So yeah, no, I don't know. I've super enjoyed it. I think we're getting better, and certainly been a ton of fun. So
Yeah, and it's a proper podcast when you have the audio only available. So
yeah,
we'll do.
that's going to be a little interesting. I was thinking about that, about like making sure that we're not just looking at the deck or letting
Yeah.
the deck speak for us and like not engaging and letting people know what we're looking at, because that is a little frustrating. You get that on FRL sometimes, where
Yeah.
they're, or not just FRL.
They're
That's
watching a
it's
video or
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, but it could be, you see it on a lot of podcasts that also do a video format,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like when you're watching a flow event and like Jordan Burroughs is describing the replay to you.
Which happened a lot during
Yeah,
Final X.
and you're like, man, that'd be cool if
Be
I
nice if
could,
we could.
if I could see that. So it's as good as his descriptions are. I not don't want to throw JB under the bus. They did a great job. And actually,
Yeah.
like, all right, before we go any farther, I do want to say that like the Final X production was awesome.
Yeah.
So when we back up flow a little bit here and there and stuff like that, but credit where credit's due. That was a really well done, awesome production, and a lot of fun to watch with some cool wrestling as well. All right, quote of the week. So quote of the week. where we talk about famous or at least quotes from famous members of the wrestling community. This is David Taylor. I guess I don't need to. World champion, NCAA champion David Taylor, and
Olympic champion as well.
Olympic champion. Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Leave that out there. Famously, well, two-time Hodge Trophy winner, and then also like lost in the finals to Kyle Dake, four-time champion, and Bubba.
Current OSU head coach.
Right, Bubba Jenkins. So the quote is, I train like I'm number 2, but wrestle like I'm number 1. And at first I thought, is this a bathroom reference?
Yeah. That's how it sounded the first time.
Yeah. I was like trying to figure out what that meant exactly, but I'm still trying to figure out a little bit like what this. I mean, I
I
guess
think it's like you got to stay hungry. You got to train like you're hungry to win,
right.
even if you've already won every trophy that there is to win.
Yeah, I guess that's the message.
Yeah, that's the message. Although he didn't stick around like a long time.
Right.
He won his Olympic gold and he was like, "Peace out."
Yeah.
Because
Well,
he was number 2 for a long time. Burroughs and Dake kept him off the world team.
yes.
He didn't make first world team until he was, I don't know how old, but not right out of college or anything.
Right.
So,
He did
maybe follow his own advice.
I kind of agree with you there. He trained like number 2 and was number 2 for a really, really long time. But well, he's number 1 in the Okie State fans' hearts now, and
Oh yeah,
that is
he's doing a great job.
that is a well deserved, and like I can't believe, right? I mean, I'm amazed that he's done so well with that transition. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me that there was all that media hype around that. Oh, this is happening, and sometimes I'm like, he hasn't coached anybody yet.
Right.
What this could be. This could go in many different directions, but he's done a great job. And
Yeah. And I mean,
yeah, that's awesome.
obviously resources, right? But
Yeah.
having said that, like there's a lot of, I mean, he didn't, you can look at the New York Mets or something. It takes more than just somebody giving you a bunch of money to.
It takes more than resources,
Yeah.
and there was that like, it seemed like he was a little out of, how should I say? Seemed like he'd lost his fire a little bit when he lost to who did he lose to? Lost to Brooks, right?
Yes.
And he didn't look good, and the whole year before that, I don't think he wrestled. And I was a little bit like, I think he's just done, but he's really embraced this. It's only been a year, so who knows if he'll stick around? But I thought he was kind of done. I thought the whole thing might be a flop, but he's made it work, and he's made it work really well.
Yeah. No. Yep. Phenomenal. Crazy. But yeah, congratulations to him. I still don't know what this means, but I will say that he took some number 2s and made them number 1s at the NCAAs.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
he knows what he's doing, even if we don't know what he means. I don't really have any good updates on goals. Do you?
I have a huge update.
Oh, nice.
I went to 6 a.m. jiu-jitsu on Monday.
What'd you think, man? Never doing that again, or like rejuvenating?
I think I'll go Mondays. It makes my week
Mm-hmm.
be better, because then it's easier to get up at like 7 on Tuesday if I did that. It's a reason to get up. It's a beginner's class. I thought there were going to be a little more higher belts there, and there weren't. But I still got some like good rolls in, and they make sure they warm you up real good at 6 a.m., which they don't always do at 6 p.m.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
They're like, keep rolling, do some cartwheels, And I need that at this age.
Yeah.
I got to warm up.
Yeah, still nothing from Titan Mercury. They were pretty well represented.
No, they have not reached out to me. I'm gonna kick whatever cans I can kick. I realized they were busy.
Might be a road trip. Might be a road trip coming.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so matches. Uh,
Yep.
I'll let you start. You can break down Messenbrink versus Carr.
All right, Messenbrink versus Carr. I believe Messenbrink had won the last two
Yes.
times they met, and somewhat convincingly the last time. But Carr pulled it out 2-0. I believe the scores were 4-3 and 4-4 on criteria. Looked really good. Messenbrink, at least from my perspective, didn't bring like the pace that he's kind of known for. And I think sometimes it can be a like guys that win off of pace and conditioning and that kind of stuff. I feel like the more you wrestle them, the more you kind of figure it out. Kind of reminds me of like Austin DeSanto,
Yeah.
where he'd obliterate people the first time you wrestle him, and then by the third time, people were kind of like figuring out how to like deal with him. But Carr looked really great. I'm excited for Carr to get experience at the World Championships. He's definitely a person to keep your eye on for 2028.
Yeah, for
And yeah,
sure. Well, that
that's my
that
thought.
that's an interesting segue. It's like where, what weight in 28? Because like this is non-Olympic, right?
Yeah. Wait, no, that's 74. 74 is Olympic.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. All right. Oh, so yeah, my thoughts. Same like you said. I mean, even like, man, I remember like I watched, ugh, Cam Amin, Mitchell Messenbrink, and so it was Michigan Penn State at Michigan, so like 2 years ago. So Cam Amin and wrestled Messenbrink, and like Messenbrink, he ended up biting him. he, got, he got so frustrated. I mean, he just got pressured off the mat, and then and then you see him like in Oklahoma State, like wrestling Messenbrink, and like was that at NCAAs they might have met, and like he's just like punching him and like just like all right, that's the deal, and like there was like a much closer and competitive match, right? It's like you
Yeah.
say that they people adjust in some way or another to the style and pace. I mean, I know we'll probably touch on a little bit, but I was like I was wondering what would happen with all the AWA guys, with the news and things that are going on. That
Yeah.
like there might be some impact there, but I mean, I agree. Like it's interesting. The one thing that I really like took from uh, the one thing I well noticed watching the match is like Mitchell always dives into those singles and puts that like really weird side pressure on people's legs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like, and I guess I won't say that it's like it's not, it's a style, it's an aggressive style, right? And then like Carr kind of flopped his leg out there, and like, and then like, and then when Mitchell lifted to turn him over, it's like they blew the whistle and stopped it, and because it's dangerous position, and and then there's Piles on the mic saying, well, Mitchell kind of, or David kind of put himself there. And like, A, shh. B, why not put yourself there if you know that's how you get a whistle? I mean, that's, you have to like, it's not illegal what David did. And like,
Right.
now Mitchell, you need to adjust because now if you go over that way you want to go, they're going to blow the whistle dangerous. I mean, so I
Right.
feel like, yeah, he put himself in that position because he limited the options that Messenbrink had to score, right? So I don't know. It was just like interesting. I thought like the take of like I feel like okay, well, David didn't do anything like illegal, and like he put yes, he put himself in a dangerous situation, but it was probably intentional because he knew now he can't score that way, right? I mean,
Yeah.
reasonable strategy.
Yeah. So first of all, the strategy, yes, that's obviously the strategy, and people use it all the time. It's not just David Carr.
Right? Yeah.
It's a whole debate because basically you're using the rules as a defense and not anything that you are doing as a defense. Um, and if you, I have mixed feelings about this. I feel like unless it's a joint lock and the person can't, move, like basically if they move one way, they give up points. So they won't do that. But why do we respect that? Because there's nothing that the offensive wrestler is doing that is guaranteeing an injury. it's the defensive wrestler that is putting themselves in that position. So
Right.
I'm actually in I the rules are the rules, so everything David did is fine. But I do think that is a rule that should be looked at.
Yeah, I think it's impossible. So, oh, you did
That
that.
it is,
You did that on purpose. Like, I mean, you just that that seems like too much. So I think
yeah,
that anyway. But Mitchell, like, he's on the edge with that. I mean, he puts a lot of
right,
pressure on joints and stuff. You know, with his singles and the way he finishes and things like that. So, I mean, if you're gonna play that game, then
right.
you know you're gonna get some whistles when you do it. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess went back and I picked Messenbrink. I'm not sure how I did that because I every time on our show I pick Carr, but I don't. So anyway, like I was not.
The double fake.
Yeah, I was not super surprised
Yeah,
in the outcome. I mean, like you say, I mean David Carr, and I think David Carr is a better, more likely to win a medal representative,
better prospect.
better compatible with the international style. Like you say, I mean, like I remember uh, after Messenbrink beat Carr, somebody posted on that. I can't remember who. That like Mitchell Messenbrink will never lose another match on on U.S. soil, and that lasted actually like 0 matches. you know,
Right.
like so. I don't. I'm more high on David Carr as a prospect like you than I am Mitchell Messenbrink. I think that Messenbrink is uh, all gas, and that doesn't the returns on that against the opponents as they get better and better is less and less. And also, I just don't think you personally can maintain that all that well. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
there's something
a hard way to like go through life on the gas all the time.
right.
So yeah. All right. So I'll do Henderson Hilger next. The love that match. First match was, I mean, so Hilger fought him at the Open. Like, so he went up 4-0. I mean, like, I'm really impressed with like Trent Hilger. I always thought like, man, this guy like he All American every year, right? So he was obviously good, and yet like he's stuck in the Big Ten in the Gable era, and so like the comparison of like this guy's not that good a heavyweight, and then like now when you like, and he's up in Minnesota, he's like must have good partners. They got great heavyweight coaching up there, and like, um, I think that like this is a thing. Like, I mean, I think that he could close that gap. I mean, I think Hendrickson needs to tighten up his defense, for sure. But what an exciting match! The second match, I scored like 30 some points, and Hilger had 2 4s, and excited for this to be a thing. I don't know if Kirk Fleet's coming back, because I'm thinking. I mean, just like everybody else, I'm thinking about LA. I'm thinking about the Olympic team, and like this is all
Yeah,
just precursor stuff. I mean, this is cool. World Championship, big deal, but like really in wrestling, like I'm pumped for thinking about LA, and watching these guys get to compete in the Olympics on U.S. soil, and like so. I think that these guys are the front runners I see now, and then Kirk Fleet, and then I mean I guess Gable's out there, right?
yeah.
He's
Well,
went
he's
out.
out
He's
there
out there. He's in Dagestan right now or something, or like I don't know, but
training with Sajalayev,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So, uh, I mean, I think he probably will like walk walk on and try to make that run. Like if you're Gable, like training or not,
Yeah.
you got to try to make the Olympic team, right?
I mean, does he want to go out having lost his last match?
Yeah, right.
You know,
He's got to
but
put his shoes on the mat when he loses to Trent Hilger in the
oh,
Olympic trials semi.
but that I don't know if that'll happen. So Hendrickson won the first match 10-0, right?
No, I don't think so. But it was quick. Yeah, he got
Yeah, yeah.
chest wrap or something. It was not competitive, right?
He got gutted and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, it was 10-0. I see my feeling about that second match was like those points Hendrickson gave up were just kind of coming from like almost like a place of overconfidence. Like even if I go down 4 points, I'm gonna come back and beat this guy. You know.
Yeah,
Um, like I don't know. You seem higher on Hilger than I am.
I know it's full 360 for me or 180. I guess maybe it'll be a 360 by next year, but like,
Right.
uh, yeah, um, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, but I mean, it'd be fun to see Wyatt matching up against the world. The
Yeah, for sure. Do you think he'll be bold enough to run out with his American flag at Worlds?
No,
I don't think so either.
I don't think. Well, that was like what did like so JB took a dig on the broadcast, and like he was like, I figured it was basically like maybe, well, now that he's qualified, maybe he'll be able to like carry the American flag for real.
Ooh,
I don't remember exactly what he said, but he basically said like that, that like
yeah,
that was which I thought was funny. Like I liked it. I mean, like
yeah, yeah.
just uh just to remind you who's the guy. Let's see. Wick Haynes. I don't really have a lot to say about that. I mean, I feel like Evan Wick's a really good wrestler, but um, he,
Yeah, he looked like he couldn't get anything going against
I mean, Haynes is powerful. I mean, and
Powerful.
I
He's good. And I was interested in this match just because of like Askren's health
mm-hmm.
and Wick being the um, founding member. I don't know if that's the right or the original Askren Regional Training Center athlete.
Yeah, right.
And he had a good run to get to this point, but yeah, I mean, he didn't really come close to scoring.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Right, the first match was like over in a heartbeat. Second match was a little bit more competitive. I mean, the but not a ton
Yep.
to talk about, really. I mean,
But Wick he's regionally. He went to San Marino High School, where I used to live down in that area.
yeah,
And Titan Mercury is based in San Marino.
right. Maybe who?
Maybe I got to reach out to him.
Yeah, no. Yeah, big time performance for Haynes, and so I guess the only thing to really talk about is like where does Haynes stack up, you know, in the world. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. They're at a non-Olympic weight, 79.
Mm-hmm.
So he's also got to think about if he wants to make a 28 run,
Right.
going or down.
Yep, they like eating their cows, so
Yeah.
probably up. um, Midley Bar was I thought was pretty fun, right?
Yeah, that
I
was a
think
really
Midley Bar.
fun.
I mean, like the they were giving it and getting it, right? I mean, like I thought it was like but it was like a good clean fight,
Right.
And
It got a little chippy at the end of the first match. Little shoving back and forth.
yeah,
After the whistle.
for sure it got a little chippy, but like but generally I thought it was a good
Yeah.
clean fight. Um, Bar did fine. I mean, at this point, I just think like Trent's a little bit better, but
Yeah.
you certainly see like Bar, being in the mix somewhere the next couple of years. At 28, like he's a good prospect, for sure. I guess the controversy of this match was the no handshake,
Yeah.
which I thought was I mean, internationally they wouldn't they'd have dragged his butt back to the mat, if it was international. Like it's for whatever reason, the ref will let the guy like lie there. Oh, I'm so tired for like 3 minutes, But when he gets up, he's shaking his hand. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're really, and that ref tried, but like he was like out, and so I just chalked that up to. I feel like that's just sort of inexperience,
Yeah.
and but like generally in freestyle, I mean, very frowned upon to not return to center, and I mean, you don't want that to happen, then you win.
Right.
So it's
The gentleman's sport.
Yeah, so I thought that he did a good job to come out and like everyone's trying to defend him, and he came out and said, "Yeah, that was bad." I mean,
Yeah.
he owned it. None of the Penn State fans would let him, but like, it was like so weird because he's like, he didn't ask anybody to defend himself. He just came out and apologized, said, "Yeah, I was pissed, and like I shouldn't have done that. My bad. I'll be better." And everyone's like, "No, it was fine." I'm like, he doesn't even think it was fine, right? Like, it's like I was just that fandom is like strange to me. So tell me about Schneider Zilmer.
Snyder Zilmer, pretty much dominance from Snyder. Probably the main new thing was it looked like he had a new stance.
Yeah.
To me, it almost looked like a Greco stance. He was standing very straight up. Apparently, he's had issues with guys that are taller than him, and Zilmer's a tall guy, so he got to practice this new style. Pretty much total domination. I mean, he seemed stronger. He seemed better. I don't know if quicker, maybe even a little quicker, but definitely didn't seem like super phased by all the media drama around him. They did play the USA Wrestling supports women's wrestling like 5 minute promo right before their match.
Yeah. Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before you guys start talking about other things, we want you to know we have a track record.
You're right. We're yeah, Schneider looked good. I mean, he didn't look I mean, you're right. The stance was different, but like I mean, I don't think it was all stance any of his recent losses, right? I mean, like how does like how does standing taller help you against taller guys? Was my question. I know that they said that. Oh, it's stance.
Yeah.
But how does that? What's the benefit? Like, because he wasn't like locking up with Zilmer, or, like
Right.
going upper body with him.
Well, there's a couple things. Basically, it's like a front headlock situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you're less likely to get into a front
right.
headlock. I know. I used to try and work. I'd still attack when I was in a front headlock.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt comfortable there, but then once in a while, you'd run into some guys that's the worst place you can be,
Right.
even though it feels like a good place
Mm-hmm.
against like 95% of people. And I had to adjust my stance when I did jujitsu because the guillotine is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so hanging out in front headlocks is just a death sentence.
Yeah.
Not that this is jujitsu, but if there's just a certain position, it's like when guys wrestle DeSanto or what Carr did versus Messenbrink, kept his elbows in real tight and close to his body.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not if you're not worried about, and Derringer I think is someone people also adjusted their stance against. That if you're not worried about somebody shooting from space, you can keep your arms close like that. Or if you just really want to avoid this front headlock situation, standing up more in a Greco stance and just making sure your eyes never get below their shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. No, that totally makes sense. So yeah, and then there was it Zilmer who was he the one who kept putting Zilmer in the front headlock? Like there was one of the matches where like one guy just kept giving up front head, just completely paralyzing his
Yeah,
offense.
I think
it was Zilmer, and it just kept happening. And I'm like, dude, that's never worked out for you. Well, I guess one time you got that arm spin right, but then like,
yeah,
and so yeah, I mean Snyder continues to be the best American by a mile. It looks like, and so we'll see if the how he does against the Bahrainian. We'll see who the
yeah.
We'll see who Russia AIN sends. We'll see who Iran sends, and like we'll see if he's because he didn't medal, right? So
At the last Worlds?
yeah, so that's why he had to go through the Open. So like he kind of has to get better, than he has been. So anyway,
He's still decently young, right? Like 27 or something.
Might have been 28, but yeah, he's not Kyle Dake.
Yeah.
Not that. McKenna versus Woods. I thought that like Real Woods looks really, really, really good. Like
Yeah.
um he's a great athlete. So he's got good defense, explosive offense. I think in some ways Joe McKenna is kind of tailor made for him
Yeah.
because he doesn't like present a lot of offensive firepower coming back the other way. And you saw that like a guy like Valencia who really wrestles the whole time and is trying to score would struggled with one in the last 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But like these efforts against McKenna were uh workmanlike, but I felt like he was in control. And I mean the cut was a bad deal too. Like that was like
So
bad.
McKenna had a
Yeah, then
yeah.
he got cut on the cheek or whatever, and it's like not like something that's like a good place to try and stop the bleeding. And it was like, yeah, it does make me think about like how they're gonna handle blood in real American freestyle. Because man,
Yeah.
there was blood was a little bit of a drag in a few of these matches.
Yeah.
They're just gonna have they must just have somebody with like super glue, like right on the side. And just...
Well, makes great photos.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah.
Um,
I McKenna and Jordan Burroughs were both at the Pennsylvania Regional Training Center for a
right.
long time. And I thought I could hear a little bit of it in Burroughs calling the match.
Yeah.
Like McKenna is like a guy that should have made a team by now. He said his senior record was like 121 and 57. I think he announced it as,
Oh.
which is like crazy. A lot of these guys wrestle like 2 tournaments a year.
Mm-hmm.
They're just nationals and worlds, and they're just off the map. Besides that,
Yeah.
and it highlights how special it is to make the world team.
Yeah.
That these guys that came in second are like doing the right things and really really good.
Yeah, I mean Jordan often like complimented him like when he was training.
Yeah.
Also about how what a great training partner he was. Preparation and stuff. So yeah, there's a bond there for sure. And that's cool. And we'll see. We'll see if Jordan follows.
Woods, by the way, I seem to remember that Woods was thinking about quitting wrestling when Stanford was going to cut their program, and he was just going to do MMA and just like, I'm done with this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking years ago, not like weeks ago, but years ago. So to me, it's just a nice story that he found a new home in Iowa and stayed in the sport and was 2 seconds away from losing to Aiden Valencia, and now he's on the world team.
Yeah. Yeah, and like so he did an interview on Bash, I think, and it was like yeah, I mean he had some struggles and like some injuries and like the NCAA career didn't quite end the way, and he just had to figure out, do I want to stay with it, and like if I do, where do I want to go? So he went to the best RTC in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah.
And found a good home. I mean, there's they got a lot of good training partners. Cliff Keen, I feel like he's in a good spot, and like definitely it's really hard to predict anybody to come home with a medal. He's like a weight like that, just because it's just so internationally competitive, and it's like your first time there. So but I mean, I like him as the rep. I mean, he earned it, so that's cool. Oh, and then we got the big one.
Yeah.
Yanni Duke. Like everyone lost their mind about this. I mean, like something like happened, whether it was just simply a matter of adjustment or whatever. But before people get too pumped about Duke's chances, he did lose his first match 10-0.
Yeah.
And if that happens at the World Championship, then you're praying the guy makes the finals, right? So, I mean, they did a great job adjusting, or something happened with Yanni, and
yeah, I thought Yanni looked a little hurt, like he got his head knocked or something. There was one time in the second match. So yeah, Yanni wins the first match 10-0. Right. in before the second round, like they're talking with the announcers, like what stood out, and and everyone was like Yanni just working
Right.
him 10-0 stood
Yeah.
out. He looks like the real deal. And then in the second match, he was winning, and then he got like suplexed,
Yeah.
basically.
He did.
He
Yeah.
got he got suplexed, and then he looked a little out of it, and then he got gutted twice, and then the match just kind of got away from him. And in that third match, the announcers were saying, "Oh, he's being a little more measured," and I was like, "I don't know, man. I think he might still be a little like
Hmm.
head rocked."
Yeah, we won't
And
know.
we won't know, and I don't know, but that's the way it looked to me. And in that third match, it didn't look like part of the strategy. I think was to just not get into too many exchanges
Yes.
because and then as soon as the temperature went up, he got stuck.
Yeah. Which has never happened in high school, college. He's never been pinned. That's the first time he's ever been pinned, which is
Yeah,
crazy. But yeah, I felt that yeah, he was up 9-2, 9-3 in that match
second
too.
match.
Yeah, in the second match. So
Yeah,
like it's
right. He was cruising,
yeah.
and then that sequence happened, and it was like a 6 or 8 point sequence for PJ, and then yeah, it just got away from him after that. But even in the third match, he was winning. I think when he got stuck. I mean, he wouldn't have been winning after the
Right.
points, but
Yeah,
I think
right.
he was up.
He was up and like so it's interesting. I don't think be awesome, be cool. Obviously I'll be rooting for him, but again, it's really hard to imagine that Duke comes home with a medal.
Yeah,
I mean it's you know,
I think your 10-0 first round prediction is pretty prescient.
right. Like yeah, it'd be interesting, right? I mean, I guess, whatever. You could catch not probably going to be seeded, so you don't know what you're going to get. I thought like Kozak came out right after and was like predicted like 8 medals for the US at the yeah, I'm like, oh, I'll take the under. I mean, it's just wow. I mean, it's hard. There's a lot of good wrestling countries, you know what I mean? Like it's like some draws are just impossible. Like I
Yeah,
mean like Kuhn at the Olympics draws the defending world champ in round 1 who like has the Cuban in round 2.
yeah,
The four-time Olympic champ. So like you have to beat the world champ just to lose to the 4-time Olympic champ to get into
yeah.
repechage. I mean, like that's just an impossible draw. And like
Right.
so anyway, but I mean, I guess I want to thank Flo and say that like man, they did a great job.
Yeah,
I think bringing in JB was a really good move. I mean,
yeah. He was great.
he's an
He was
elite
great.
level commentator, and uh, and Piles did fine.
Yeah, I
He's
thought
getting he's getting better. I think, and
yeah,
that's cool. That's good. Excited for that. But yeah, they did a great job, and we even had some replays. Not all the time, but like
not all.
some of the time, and like so I'm glad they're
You know,
like taking
there
their
were some gaps too, like when like a few of the matches that were early techs and they had to wait for the
yeah
women's side. Um,
yeah that'd be
they could
something.
have like had some filler besides.
Hmm.
They might as well have just put up that flow like we'll be back shortly.
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
No, not that. Anything but da-da-da-da-da-da. Like or yeah, they could have like ran some kids out there on dizzy sticks or something. Or
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but they did. Yeah, nice job, good production, good way to kind of like because we don't have much wrestling for a while, right? Like we don't.
Right.
We're holding out for the world championship and then maybe some like
That's September, right?
yeah.
Well, we still have to do Veto Jax at Fargo in July.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be the next.
So I mean, if you're into high school, like there's like
Yeah,
a
Fargo.
lot of stuff that are stuff to think about, but not really my jam. So
Yeah.
all right, but yeah, it's a good way to like sort of end the season, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a couple more. Forgot about those.
Yeah, we got two more.
So Lee versus Lilladall went about how I expected it to go. Like, I mean, there's a skill gap there. There's a strength gap there. There is I mean, Lee looks pretty healthy. He's, I
He was
feel,
wearing no knee pads, I think.
yeah, I did
I
notice that. Yeah, like bare knees.
noticed.
It's like, holy
Yeah.
cow, man, getting bull.
I haven't seen him without like a bionic ankle to hip knee pad in a
Yeah,
long time.
right. So that's awesome. And then, so everyone's like saying, well, you're healthy now because you're not like training like a Hawkeye college athlete. There's always people trying to dig on the Hawks, and how they train, and everybody's always
Yeah,
hurt and
including
blah blah blah.
including
Yeah, including you, right? So, um, I think like we talk about like how like I'm always thinking about 28, and I'd say like Lee's a real heavy favorite to win a gold medal this year at the World Championships, and he's a really heavy favorite to represent the U.S. in 28. I mean,
yeah,
the difference looked pretty big. The skill gap, and
right.
it could. I mean, right? People get old. He could get hurt. But as of now, I think that Spencer Lee cemented himself as the best medal hope, or the best gold medal hope that we have, and a big time front runner for 28.
Yeah, I thought Lee looked good. I thought he looked, how should I say? He looked like he knew he was going to win the match. I don't think he came out with that I'm going to beat you 10-0 energy.
No,
He looked like he was like I'm going to win, you know. Uh,
right.
and then his interview afterwards was like he was like, yeah, I got to score more points, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like self-assessing his own performance. Apparently, Luke Lilladall is ranked sixth in the world.
Okay,
I heard
so
some.
this is the same guy who does the international rankings, who predicted 8 medals for.
Okay, okay, okay.
I mean, I think Kozak does the international rankings. So let's like
Yeah,
so
that to me was seemed very. I was gonna say I'm very skeptical of that because a lot of guys just retired and maybe Lilladall beat some guy 3 years ago at U20s and
so he
like
he's beaten the Russian twice, who I think
okay,
might be like he beat him in the World Championships, U20 World Championships last year,
right,
and I
right.
think he's got a couple victories against that. I think that's where it's the place that it's coming from, and like so many you don't know. I mean, Spencer Lee's like 5'4". If he lists at 5'4", he's probably like really 5'3" or something.
Yeah,
And like so he struggles, to make the weight.
yeah, yeah,
So like there just aren't that many guys that if there's not an Olympic gold on the line that are willing to like make that cut. And so in an off year like this, he probably could be the sixth best guy who's making 57 this year. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cronin won true thirds. I guess we didn't talk about the true thirds or anything, but like that was cool.
Yeah.
I think Ian Parker won, Carter won. Everybody wrestled. Um, Jared JQ's beat Joey Blaze.
Yeah.
Like, and then Marcus Blaze won. So that true third matches where I was kind of in and out, and I was at dad's and kind of working and stuff,
Yeah.
so didn't I wasn't like completely engaged, more listening to them in the background. But uh, I'm happy for Cronin. He is
Yeah.
also another true 57er. I mean, like he's a little guy.
Yeah.
And cool to see. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, Lee looks good. I think that he'll, like I said, if I had to take one guy to win a gold from Team USA, he would definitely be my guy I'd ride with, without question. But another guy who probably will win a medal, last match, Valencia Dake. So at this point, I think that Valencia's just better than Dake. I think
Yeah.
he's established that. What does that mean in terms of where Dake ranks or what Dake's future? Everyone is so like, man, you know, everyone's like, Dake's done. Dake should cut to 79, blah, 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 blah. Dake's executing this plan to get up to 86. Got 2 years
Yep.
to do it. And like it's like what you see with your eyes in wrestling, okay? Like, okay, for sure. Right now, there is no question Eddie Valencia is better than Dake. You know,
Pretty.
you know who was really, really better than PJ Duke for like 8 minutes of wrestling?
Yeah.
Yanni Nakamura. Like just destroyed him. Like what is Duke even doing here? Like how's that guy? I mean, and then like and it happened, right? So like it's I guess the Duke match and like man, don't draw too many conclusions from one match. You know, you go back to Mess and Brink Carr, you know, and
Yeah.
that wasn't competitive. And it's like, well, David's not wrestling like to
This
win.
is 3 matches in a row though now.
No, 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 no. I know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that right. Every look, Dake's old. He's like 34.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's the the safe money is that Kyle Dake will never represent the U.S. again at the world level. Um, but like he's got a plan, and I mean, I think like all I'm saying is
Yeah.
he'll be better at 86 next year. Will he be good enough to beat Valencia? I would bet he's not, but
Yeah.
I think that he will get better. I mean, all aging jokes and everything aside, the guy is you know, he's growing into a new weight, and it's a big
Yep.
shift. And so, and I think wrestling's better if you know Kyle Dake's still competing.
Yeah.
You know, USA Wrestling.
Definitely somebody I make a point to watch his matches.
Mhm.
He's really good.
And
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it looked like he just really didn't have the ability to score versus Valencia. So he's gonna have to do some growing. I mean, with Valencia, he lost to Mark Hall on the headgear pull, and he lost to Brooks on the singlet pull. So you could try and go for that angle,
yeah, right,
keep it a tie match, and
right.
hope for that.
Mm-hmm.
But like in seriousness though, like I don't think his chest wrap at 86. I mean, at 74, he was just very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys are just 20 pounds lighter, so he could like literally pick them up off the mat. So I think that he's going to need to make a real serious adjustment
Yeah, right.
to how he approaches matches, and he's a smart wrestler. He'll do it. I mean, he's like famous for
Mm-hmm.
having a game plan for each wrestler. So um, it is interesting though that David Taylor is no longer in the Penn State room, and I wonder if they had some kind of rapport about training and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You don't know. You know,
Because it seems like him and Carter don't have the same rapport.
yeah. I don't even. I'm leaving all the Carter stuff alone until like it all comes out or something. But
Yeah,
there's like it's yeah. Uh, like right.
yeah. Right. Who knows?
No,
Just
yeah. Leave it alone and
it
like
doesn't seem the same. That's all.
no. Yes, I definitely agree with you there. And I think right. I mean, he can't just let people shoot low singles. They're just shooting low singles. They're elevating his leg. They're too powerful. They're too heavy. They're too like he
Yep.
has to come up with a new way to wrestle.
Yep.
And like, right, if anybody can do it, I mean, this is a guy who just kept moving up weight classes, you know, and winning titles, and
Yeah.
like, you know, I mean,
That's what he did.
it's a very impressive person, and so
He was a 41 pounder as a freshman.
right, I mean, so he will,
86 kilograms is what, 189?
yeah, it's in there, yeah,
It's like even bigger than that, I think.
so yeah, I'm like, I'm not, we'll say I'm rooting for him to win, but I am like, I'm expecting that he will reinvent himself a little bit, and he'll be a better version of Kyle Date
Yeah.
next year.
And a year younger.
No, we're not doing that anymore. Oh, the new rules. So we got our new rules. I don't know if we really want to. It's like headgear stays, mouth guard. I mean, it's basically all the things we did talk about, right? Even
What was the mat side review? Let's just do that one.
yeah. So basically, you can two things. Like, well, you keep your challenge flag if the challenged uh, sequence is obstructed, and the reviewing judge can talk to the ref of why did you see what did you see here? Why did you call this? Like what like to say, okay, well he had his hand, he lost seatbelt or whatever. So you can have discussions between the reviewing judge and the referee for a consult. Let's see. Yeah, and
You know what they should do? They should just make a drop-down menu, so the ref has to say exactly, like, butt was on the mat, legs were wrapped, that kind of thing.
Yeah, right. Okay. I want to reduce referee burden. Any like idea
That
where
would be the camera review, the video review guy's job.
Okay. But yeah, there's so basically, yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct anytime you remove your headgear and do anything with it. So they went the opposite direction that everybody wanted on that. And they
Right.
right. And stopping riding time when the offensive wrestler in rear standing, call for stalling. I mean, I'm okay. I mean, like I said, I think that's rear standing is like a dumb position, and like it's impossible for these guys to call it the way. Like, if it's your guy on bottom, it's instantly stalling the second they stand up.
Yeah.
And if it's their guy on bottom, he's not doing anything to try and get away. Like, so like that. The problem is like there's no real onus for action, right? That like the bottom guy can like kind of just hold position, and then if the top guy says, "Well, I'm not really holding them," like I mean, like where if like you just had a count, get to your feet, 5 count. If you don't get returned in 5, then it's just an escape, right? Yeah. And then it's just I just want more like clarity, or just something that like it's easy for the ref to call.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't touch a hand or a knee, and he's up for 5 seconds. I mean, it's a controlled sport. I mean, if you just define control as you got to keep that guy on the mat, okay, that's fine. Then you get rid of that dumb position. Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, I know that like most of my like rule changes like are trying to reduce the amount of mat time. So definitely I don't really hide that. But anyway, like yeah, I didn't think there was anything like all that. Certainly nothing groundbreaking, and like the stuff they did make sense, but like it really needed, or whatever it might be. Let's see here. Go back to the show.
Well, we're all like spoiled by the 3-point takedown. Like, no rule change is ever gonna like match that for like changing the way the sport works.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all little stuff.
But this is like real little stuff.
Yeah.
Like
see, you could go a whole season and not even notice.
Like, did you even like need to like put like if the review's obstructed, you keep your brick.
Right.
Seems like you could have just like decided that over like beers.
Yeah. Well, you gotta write it down.
Who's gonna on a napkin? Like, who's gonna like challenge that? It's like it just makes sense, right? I mean, like okay, let's Well, I mean, they get a vacation out of it, I'm sure. The guys on the rules committee, hanging out, right? So the form, the results. So these are the results.
This is the final X results, like for the contest of predicting.
Okay, this is me and you. So Spencer, Vito, I had Real Woods, you had McKenna. I had Messenbrink, you had Carr, and then the deciding was Levi Hain, and you had Wick.
We both have Vito.
Yeah, both have Vito.
Oh, so there's no way.
Yeah.
Can I switch it?
Double down. Like, yeah.
Well, now I'm like, well, he was injured.
Maybe we could do that. But the tiebreaker, I had 2 matches going 3. You had 3. I mean, really, the history is that like usually like it's like
Yeah.
done. I mean, but uh, yeah, and that played out like that. But anyway,
What was
congratulations
I thinking?
on.
I was thinking Wick, Haynes, Messenbrink, Carr, and Valencia Dake, I think is what I was thinking when I picked three.
So,
Anyway,
right, congratulations on your second place finish.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Silver's up.
Right. So I guess that's going to become. Oh, that was last week. Over under on AJ's placement. Did you have
Oh, I lost that one too.
a
I said he
wager?
was gonna.
No, no, no. This is for next year. So you this is that's AJ's going to
Oh,
be, yeah. So you have the under on that. That you think that AJ will not
yeah, that's right.
finish top.
What was the finish though?
It hasn't
2.5?
happened yet. This is next year.
No, but what is the line?
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
Yeah, and you have the
Under meaning
over.
better than that,
Worse than that.
worse than that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have one. I had one for this week. It was floating around in my head, but man, if I don't write things down these days, I'm being old. You got a wager?
Let's just do
Oh, okay. We can do.
there's nothing
I'll
going
make
on.
the I'll make the bet, and then you can then set the line. So Team USA medals at
Ooh.
at Worlds.
All right, let me set this line
And then early Kozak's got it at 8.
here.
I know where I'm going if you like set it at 8.
Yeah. I'm gonna set it at 5.5.
5.5. All right, Spencer will
Let me
medal.
let me just run through
Vito
everyone again.
Vito will medal. I think
David Carr.
Wyatt's got a shot at bronze. Carr's got a medal. I think Valencia's gonna medal. Pretty confident. If Levi Haynes has got a decent shot.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. I think Haynes has got a decent shot. You say 5.5? I think that's probably about where the line should live. You know what? And like, as the eternal, like, I'm gonna go optimist, and I'm taking the over.
Okay.
Probably dumb, but
I think the line is right.
yeah,
I
I
think the
think
line.
so too.
It'll be 5 or 6, I bet.
Yeah, that's quite a haul. Because that means like you take a who's not very likely. I think PJ Duke's not very likely. I think
Right.
Rio Woods is not very likely. And then
Hidley? Yeah, Hidley could actually.
yeah, Hidley,
Snyder is like, who
Hidley,
knows?
Snyder. Now that I'm thinking about it, and Wyatt needs a draw.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets some big Mongolian hugging him in the first round. He could be out quick. I mean, it's
We got a lot of first timers, right?
yeah. I took the over.
Carr is a first timer. Haynes is a first timer. Hendrickson, Hidley, Woods, Duke.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, counting the guys that are going to struggle, I think is that like I think that uh Schneider hasn't medaled, didn't medal
Yeah.
last time. Woods, just a tough weight.
Yep.
Idley, never been there. Duke. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, the non-Olympic weights post-Olympic year
Yeah.
often are not as competitive. There's not as many guys that a lot of guys take this year off. So anyway, I think the line's in the right place. I don't.
Yeah.
Over. Now you can root against Team USA while I'm cheering on America. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So what do we got going on? We'll do you first. So best of social. This is the best of social piece. We gotta remember to like read this, right? Because when we're on Apple or Spotify, people gotta know what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
next bit is the best of social. So Roy, what's the first one you got here? This is title is
So
Iowa. Oh yeah. Man, why we gotta talk about
we don't got to talk about it. It's just best of social.
this? Right.
Jordan Williams' recent transfer. We'll see what comes of this. He's it's we because we talked about it. Like sometimes you're in
Yeah.
the right place, even if it isn't the right like name of a school.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing great at Little Rock, and
Yeah.
hope things work out for him. That's all I wanted to
Yeah. I
say.
mean, he got kicked off the team, Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah,
And so you're kind of hoping for like a Bubba Jenkins redemption story, right? Comes back and he did beat Carter, right? He did like some semi or something, but yeah. And then him and Nasir, got offered at Iowa or whatever, and
right.
went to Iowa. I like Jordan Williams as a wrestler, and I'm with you. I mean, I hope he figures it out. I mean, it's not like it's not a difficult thing to see what's going on.
Yeah,
It's not something that lots and lots of people in the world have struggled with. It's not something that isn't overcome all the time,
yep,
by people. So, from that standpoint, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, this is a opportunity for, a redemption, and wish him, nothing but the best. And I hope that it does, in fact, that he straightens it out and has the right people around him for that. Because certainly a talented wrestler,
yeah, for sure.
and like I mean, the guys like I mean, like the guys at Oklahoma State liked him.
Yeah.
They all ran to bail him out and whatnot. So like, they liked him as a teammate, and they were there for him. All right.
Yeah,
So
last time we were on, we had a tweet from Tom Ryan that
Ryan,
just said prayers for Ben Askren, and we were like, "What is this?"
yeah, right. And then
Since then, we've found out he's had a pneumonia and needs a lung transplant
yeah,
in his current Wisconsin.
yep,
So yeah, they made a shirt. They made a shirt. I thought it was a great shirt. And Ben, it's sort of interesting. I remember, like in early 2000s, I had just finished wrestling,
mm-hmm.
so I still kind of followed wrestling, but it was before the internet, so it was just through like USA Wrestling magazine or whatever. And I remember there's a guy from Missouri that's good.
Yeah, right.
That's weird.
Yeah. ESPN had the finals, and then he had that funky hair going, and like
Yeah,
just like getting her done, and like yeah, it was I mean, two-time Hodge Trophy winner. Like
yeah.
I mean, he went.
And I've been a fan for a long time, so
Mm.
and since we addressed it on the last show, that we were like, "What is this all about?" And you know,
Yeah,
prayers to
yeah. So they're selling fundraising for their RTC and for Ben, his family. Like yeah, sad. You get like it's just the tough thing is like everybody like there was a fair amount of like misinformation, and then like
yeah,
um like everybody like wants to know, or
right,
want. I mean, it's a everybody is very you know hoping for the best, and they and people just want like things to resolve. They want news. They like and it's
well, like you said, there was so many like weird rumors that just got
mm-hmm,
started from like a comment on a tweet thread, and
mm-hmm.
then and that makes you want to know even more because like what and so yeah,
Yeah, sad, and yeah, let's hope that uh Ben pulls through.
yeah,
I mean, at this point. So, yep. If you feel like you want to, certainly support uh, Ben Askren and his schools and family. So awesome. Yep. And then top 10.
Oh, you got a shout out. So that's
Oh, look at that. Yeah, very cool. Like, so, are you familiar with Joe Warren?
no.
So, so Joe Warren, is local. He's not local, actually. So it's kind of strange. So we interact a lot on X. You know, we're kind of like the same wavelength. You know, like we'll say
Right.
some like usually we have very respectful discussions about wrestling, but we also like will drop some like edgy humor a little bit, you know, or like make
Sure.
jokes and that kind of thing. So we're kind of like on the same wavelength. So I think like that's why I made the list or something like that. He's uh he's actually from Kentwood, Michigan.
Okay.
Um, was on the like went out to Colorado Greco guy, and then went into MMA. I'm surprised you haven't heard of him. Like he's like I think maybe won in Bellator, fought overseas a lot,
Oh,
and
okay, okay.
so had an MMA career. Um, he doesn't know this. I've never like DM'd him or anything, but like you know his so Liam's best friends with his nephew.
Oh
So
yeah.
like this guy Jake, who's like one of Liam's good friends, is like he's like that's his uncle Joe, you know. And I have these sort of connections. I actually have run into some of his family members and stuff like that. But um he yeah, he's a cool guy. And I enjoy his he's not too serious, like or he's but
Yeah.
certainly super knowledgeable, super passionate about wrestling. So it was fun. Like sometimes you don't recognize the people who have different like uh like that gut bench is the I don't know how many of these guys you follow old school wrestling clips.
Oh yeah, I follow
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So like when I saw the name, I'm like, who's that? But then like, yeah, like so Jagger's pretty funny. You follow Jagger? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, one of the nice things about this week is people were posting all these top 10 lists of
Yeah, I
like,
thought that was cool. It just kind of like ran. Some guy posted it, and then like
yeah, yeah.
it was fun. It gave me a lot of new follows.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
most of these guys. I think everybody on this list I followed or whatever. These guys are all pretty active. You know, the army coach or he left now, didn't he? Did Green officially leave or?
Yeah, yeah. Isn't he at Northern Colorado? Or no?
No, Northern
That's
Colorado
Rutgers.
coach went to Army. Green was the
Yeah, yeah.
assistant.
Sorry, sorry.
So Green didn't get the job, but had ties to Nickerson. They weren't. I think he did go, but anyway, either way, he's a good read, good follow. Um, Adam Tirapelli is that's a U of I champ,
Yep.
right? Yep.
Yep.
And he's a smart guy. I mean,
He's the one that wrestled Reggie Wright a lot, right? Reggie Wright and Tony Davis.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. So anyway, that's cool. Yep. It's actually like it got me a bunch of follows.
Yeah.
All the people like reached out and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, very cool. But yeah,
Nice.
that was awesome. Um yeah, did I have anything what happened? Oh, what? Man, I swear I put a link in there. And then it's gone. Let's see what we got here. So go back, post, the bookmarks. I wasn't as organized as I could be. So I'm not sure if this is true or not. So Real American Freestyle says the tickets are already sold out. I think it may have been like a website glitch. I'm not 100% sure. Because like they literally just went on sale today. They're wrestling at Cleveland State
Of
Arena or
course.
something like yeah, right. Okay, so that's pretty classic. Um so that was cool. Like
Did they have a card, or is it going to be teams? Like, what is it even going to be? Do we know
so
yet?
they announced the first four matches. Oh, let's see. Um yeah, so
Yeah, I saw all those posts where they signed people.
no, but they had where is it? So it's Darren Caldwell
Okay.
is wrestling Real Woods. Um
Nice.
Palmer, you remember Palmer, like
Matt
Metcalf's
Palmer.
nemesis? Yeah. Like he was wrestling somebody. Man, I wish I would have like posted that. And so yeah, it was like Palmer, like it was Real Woods and Metcalf, and then like Palmer, someone. So it was like yeah, who knows? Right? I mean, like they're building stories. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
we'll see. But so I thought this was kind of cool. Like you're starting to see the Big Ten schedules coming out.
Okay.
So so like Iowa's got Michigan, Minnesota, Penn State, Wisconsin, and then they're at Michigan State, at Nebraska, at Ohio State, at Purdue.
Hmm.
So like the Michigan schedule came out. So $50. I'll just make a little plug there for Michigan athletics. So $50 for season tickets to Michigan, general admission. Show up early, get the front row seats for Big Ten wrestling. It's pretty at Chrysler Arena. Pretty cool. So highly recommend. I guess like I always want to buy them, but then like season ticket holders, you gotta wait. I'm like, why not? I get some other offer, like it's the same offer, but like you never know with NIL if they're gonna jump up to like 300 so they can pay the football players, like so.
Yeah.
So that's but anyway, like so there are a bunch of like schedules getting posted. Austin Gomez. Gomez was wrestling somebody too. I don't remember. Man, rules
Yeah.
update. Yeah. So we didn't talk about it, but Amit Allure out of Final X. Uh, that's a that's kind of a bummer, but I mean that created that whole Sky Groat like I should get to wrestle 2 out of 3 because I lost in the finals twice, and then and then she lost her 2/3 match. It's like kind of lost some momentum, and I don't know. I mean that I understand the athlete's frustration, because they want to compete and they're already cutting weight for the 2/3 match. So like just kind of like, but think about like
Can't hurt to ask.
right. Well, think about the Olympics, and then who won gold? Hildebrandt won gold, right? Because like the greatest Japanese wrestler got upset by that Indian, and then the Indian didn't make weight, and then so there was like no finalist. And like if they'd have wrestled back everyone in the repechage, U.S. would not have enjoyed that because it would have been one less gold medal. You know what I mean? Like so, I mean the rules exist, and like I'm sure that the Japanese wrestlers like, hey, this isn't fair. I wanna Hulk smash everybody. I'm mad. I never lose. Hidley signed with Asics. There was I don't know if you saw, there's a breakdown on Twitter of like all the shoe companies that were supporting the various wrestlers and
Oh,
like
I did see
yeah,
that.
Spartan and then the Puma. I like the Real Woods rocking the Puma. I think that's like cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's solid. Um, all right, yeah. I guess that's what I have from the best of X. I'm not quite as organized this week as I
That's
normally would be. Still looking for guests, send an email to QuadRpodcast@gmail.com. Reach out. I'm probably going to try and reach out for some guests maybe as we get like closer to the season.
yeah.
For do some like lineup previews for some of the big teams and stuff like that. One thing I did see, I didn't bookmark it on X, but Nebraska published their schedule, and Cliff Keen's not on it. So I mean, I think that the national duels is going to have a really big impact on Cliff Keen participation. You're basically taking the top 16 teams and like putting a grueling dual tournament, a couple weeks before Cliff Keen. So I'm bummed about that. That's kind of like the start of the season for me. It's like, all right, like let's get it on, and so like I feel a little bit I'm sad about that. We'll see how the impact is, but at Cliff Keen Las Vegas is like an awesome event.
It is.
And so and like Nebraska like always won it,
Yeah.
And like until last year when Oklahoma State. So it worked out for Nebraska to not decide to peak in the first week of December. But I mean Oklahoma State won the thing by like 75 points or something, and they still managed to put together a decent tournament. Though they did lose to Nebraska. And they both had an equal number of champs. So and an equal number of finalists. Spratley, right? So Spratley lost and Hardy lost. And then
Wait, Spratley?
Bradley lost to Vince Robinson in the finals, right?
I thought he didn't make the finals, but oh no, you're right. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So they each had 3 finalists and 2 champions. All right. So yeah, 5:30 Eastern Saturdays. That's generally when we run. Join the fun. You get to pick some topics. Give you 2 slides on the deck or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, reach out. We're excited to have you when we have you. Got the whole. Let's see, what do we got? We're ready for you.
Yeah.
Jumped you right in there. No problem. Very cool. Yeah, any other thoughts? What do we
Not just excited for Team USA. We we'll get to see Vito versus Jax. I'm curious to see how that goes because Final X was like a whole event, and this is gonna be like a okay, clear the mats. We got this like one wrestle off we got to do. I don't know. It might feel weird.
I think it'll definitely feel weird. I also feel like it's gonna go like Duke Yanni. And
Yeah,
that Vito's gonna smash him.
Yeah,
in the first match, and then I think that people forget. Vito's healthy. This is a world champion, world bronze. The only person he lost to in the worlds was Ono, who was like tech falling everybody. Right? It was just on a like one of the greatest heaters of all time, and so like that's who he's lost to, and so Vito is so good, and like yeah, Jax is good, but and maybe Vito's just hurt, maybe he's just worn out, maybe Jax wins, but I also feel like if we got good Vito, that he wins. Without it being that competitive, but
right. Well, if Jax wins, that makes taking the under on the 5.5 a better bet.
It definitely does. Yeah, it's hard to imagine healthy Vito not getting a medal at Worlds with Ono out, especially. So, but I have a good feeling or a strong feeling that the number 2 in Japan is probably pretty good at 61 too.
Yeah.
Likely a medalist, or at least a potential medalist. All right. Well, cool. Good hanging. Fun. I don't know, like now it's gonna get a little trickier. Coming up with topics. But we got a lot of stuff in the doc that we haven't been talking about, right? So we have got rule changes, we got all kinds of fun things to hot takes, predictions. Like I kind of feel like, so I don't know, like I feel like that a lot of stuff, like there's been stuff like rumors and like like the whole like Carter Bartlett and just different things. Like I feel like there's a lot of reasons for these guys to like hold things together until Final X is over. Right? Disrupt your training situation, everything. So like I feel like there is some potential that we're gonna get some crazy like over the next month, Now that like you wouldn't like even it could be like transfers, right? If you're like training for Final X or whatever, like you're not gonna like enter the portal or go move to Michigan or something. But now we're in this kind of like situation where everything's kind of done. So unless you're on the world team, like there's some potential for crazy. That's what I'll say. So we'll see. All right, let me take us out here, and then thank you everybody for watching.
Thanks
and
for watching.
What do they say? Subscribe and like, yada yada yada, and we'll see everybody next week.